Okay, we have finally reached the end of Just Grace, page 127. Um, it left off where they found Crinkles. She was in Mrs. Dupra's house, and Miss Dupra is in France, so we're not really sure how Crinkles got in there. Okay, I tried to open the window, but the little latch thing had snapped closed, and the window would not open even a sliver. Sammy said he would stay by the window and talk nice to Crinkles to keep him from howling while I did the sneaking upstairs part to borrow the spare apartment key from Dad's desk. Sammy also had the job of keeping everyone away from the window in case someone was nosy and came too close. I was not sure if he could do these things at the same time, but I had to trust him. Finding the exact key was not easy because Dad keeps his entire key collection all together in one box, and none of the keys has any writing on it to say what it is for. I had to take the whole box outside to Augustine Dupra's door and try almost every single one of the door on the door. Sammy was nervous that Crinkles would jump through the door the minute I put the right key in, like he was an attack lion or something. If I liked talking to him, I would have said, "Don't you think it's crazy to be scared of a cat when you think lions are so great?" But I didn't say that. I said, "He won't jump out. He's just a furry little cozy kitten." I don't know if Sammy could tell, but what I said was a little bit mean. But then, because I am not good at being mean, even if someone sort of deserves it like he does, I gave him the 2 oven mitts I brought down from upstairs so he could protect himself. Sammy seemed a lot happier, even though he looked completely silly. I don't understand why she thinks he deserves to have someone be mean to him. I don't understand that. Crinkles was crazy with joy when I opened the door. I told Sammy to stand guard outside until I locked Crinkles in the bathroom, which was not so easy to do because he kept sneaking out when I tried to push him in. Plus, his claws were sharp and pointy. Finally, Crinkles was locked up so I could let Sammy in. "It stinks in here, like a cat bathroom," said Sammy. He made a really good disgusted face and was trying to hold his nose closed with the big oven mitts. He was right. It smelled terrible. This whole time while he was locked in, Crinkles was using Augustine Dupra's 2 fancy trees in pots as cat toilet. "Yuck, it's disgusting. It's coming from there," I said, and I pointed at the plants and 100% did not want to touch the smelly pots filled with Crinkles' cat poop, even though I like Crinkles and he is a very nice cat. "I'll do it. I'll take them outside," said Sammy. "It's fair because you have to do the carry the cat part." And then, right there, even though I could hardly believe it, Sammy turned into the exact perfect partner for me. I hate poop and I love cats. And he hates cats and he loves poop. The chance of this perfect partner happening was probably something like 0.008%. So there's a little graphic that goes with that. Poop plus no cats equals loves cats plus no poop. While Sammy was outside, I looked for some kind of perfumey stuff to spray around the apartment. Augustine Duprat is fancy, so she had lots of choices. I used a little bit of each one, and pretty soon I couldn't even tell if the cat smell was there anymore. Sammy said he wanted to wait outside the apartment when I went upstairs to take back the keys and the oven mitts. I don't think he wanted to be in the apartment alone with Crinkles, but he said it was because he didn't like the smell of the fancy perfumes. Cat return. Sammy walked in front of me and Crinkles just in case Crinkles got away. And Crinkles escaped me, which he was not going to do because I know how to hold a cat. Sammy thought Crinkles would run back to my house instead of in front of Mrs. Luther's house, and he did not want to be a person who was in Crinkles' way. That was perfect with me because I did not want to be the first person Mrs. Luther saw when she opened her front door. This was not a problem because even though Sammy was standing in front, the first thing Mrs. Luther saw was Crinkles. She told me to hold him tight and come in quick so she could close the door so he wouldn't run off. Then she asked us to go into the scary mask room and sit down. I gave her Crinkles and he sat on Mrs. Luther's lap, giving her a leg massage with his claws. This is something cats do when they are happy, and she didn't seem to mind that his claws were sharp and pointy. Mrs. Luther wiped some probably happy tears away from her eyes and said, "So where did you find him?" I couldn't not believe that Sammy and I had forgotten all about the practicing this part. "Under some bushes near Grace's house?" "Yeah, Sammy!" He remembered his promise, and he didn't even call me just Grace like normal. "Well, thank you, Grace, and thank you, Sammy, for everything." And then Mrs. Luther winked at me, and her smile didn't look exactly so much like a crocodile's. "Sammy, run into the kitchen and get some cookies for you and your friend. He loves my cookies, that Sammy," said Mrs. Luther, and she smiled again, definitely not crocodile like that time either. Sammy was right. Mrs. Luther's cookies were amazing. They had real pieces of chocolate bar right in the cookies, which was such a great idea and one I had never seen or eaten before. The masks on the wall still looked kind of scary, even up close, but they did not look scarier than they did from my room, which was not how I thought it was going to be. And there was my room, right through Mrs. Luther's windows. She could see me as well as I could see her. This was not something I had thought about either. So here's a picture of the cookies with real chocolate bars in them. I never thought to do that before. That sounds delicious. My bedroom window. There's her bedroom window. After the cookies, I got to eat 3, which is a lot of cookies to eat at once if they are big ones. It was time to go home. Mrs. Luther locked Crinkles in the kitchen with some food and came with Sammy and me to the door. Sammy was holding his jar of lion poop. Oh, excuse me. I was so happy he couldn't stop smiling. Mrs. Luther had a new kind of cast that she could walk on, and it was not bright orange. Green is my favorite color, she said, pointing to her cast. Like spring. How about you? Brown, said Sammy. I was thinking it was probably because of poop, but Sammy said, like chocolate. Then it was my turn. Green like tree leaves. I couldn't believe that Mrs. Luther and I had the same favorite color and for almost the exact same reason. Thank you both so much. I'm glad that you and Sammy are friends. We're not friends, said Sammy, and he smiled at me, and I could see bits of chocolate cookie stuck in between his teeth. I said, he's right, we're not, and I smiled back at him, but Mrs. Luther had closed her door so she could not hear us anyway. Then Sammy walked home, and I walked home, and I thought, maybe he's not magnetic, maybe he's got magnetic teeth. Maybe that's why food gets stuck there, and I don't know why, but that made it seem a lot less disgusting. So here's Magneto Teeth Boy. So it says, I will save you from those crumbs. Someone help me, save me from these attacking crumbs. Food sticks to me, especially my teeth. It's cute. So this is what Grace will be thinking about in her next book. Why am I still called just Grace? Why are so many things upside down? Who is so furry? Why is the big meanie smiling? And where is Mimi? So maybe you will decide to read the next book in the Just Grace book series by Charise, Mericle, Harper. Hope you enjoyed it.